So whether you're hanging a mirror, hanging a TV, building a deck, or just doing some repairs around the house, a good hammer is essential for any first-time home buyer or new homeowner. You're going to be using your hammer for all sorts of repairs around the house, driving a nail, hopefully into a stud, or driving a wall anchor into the wall, into drywall. You may eventually be building a deck, or maybe even doing some 2x4 framing in the house. For that reason, I suggest a real hammer. Now you could go down to the dollar store and get a little hammer. This one's from my set from IKEA. You get something like that, but I suggest you go with a fiberglass handle, a metal handle, or a wood handle like these guys. You get what you pay for. Next, you're gonna need a good utility knife or box cutter. These are gonna come in real handy, like for projects like sectioning up carpeting. If you're gonna install carpeting or linoleum, if you're gonna do any drywall patching or any room enclosures, you're gonna use this for cutting of drywall. Now, I would suggest you don't waste your money on little guys like these because they're gonna be not worth the time or the money. Instead, get a good stout utility knife. And I really strongly suggest you use one that has a retractable blade like this. This one, if you put it in your front pocket, you may have enough time to get to the hospital after severing your femoral artery. Next, you want to have a good screwdriver set of various lengths and sizes. This will be a regular slotted screwdriver versus a Phillips. They'll come in real handy, so whether you're driving in drywall screws into the wall, or if you're changing out the batteries on your children's toys, you'll need a good screwdriver set. Next, I highly recommend you get a good tape measure, like one of these guys. And you want a good tape measure that's good and stout. This is 1 inch. It's got a curve on there to keep it straight for a long distance. But you also want to pay careful attention to how it locks. This one locks and locks down good. That's going to stay in there. Whereas this one has a release on the base so that every time I set it down, it presses on there and scoots off the board. So pay careful attention to that, but invest in the tape measure. Now you could get a tape measure from like Harbor Freight for free with the coupon, but you get what you pay for. Get you a good tape measure. If you're gonna be doing any plumbing around the house, and invariably you are, or any tool repair, an open-ended adjustable wrench is gonna be your best friend. Sometimes they'll call this a crescent wrench, but Crescent is a name brand like Rigid or Craftsman. But if somebody asks for a crescent wrench, I'm gonna hand them this one. But its real name is an open-ended adjustable wrench. It does standard as well as metric. Go figure that. It'll tighten down to any size. Now, if you're gonna be doing any picture hanging, mirror hanging, or any TV hanging, you're gonna need a good level. So these are called bullet levels, and they're all sorts of sizes. This one's really cute and cuddly. I think it came with a piece of furniture from IKEA. Came free. But you're gonna need a good bullet level to let you know. Otherwise, when you look at that TV, or when your friends come over and look at the big game, they're gonna say, did you know your TV is off 1/4 of an inch down on the left-hand side? And sure enough, it is, because you didn't use a level. In fact, this one's so smart, it even has a magnetic strip in case you have to go hands-free at some point in time. Eventually, you may want to step up your game to a 2 foot, 4 foot, or even the behemoth 6 foot level. We'll be talking about laser levels in a future video, but at this point in time, I'd highly recommend a little bullet level to have on hand for any first-time home buyer or new homeowner. Another tool that I'd highly recommend for the first-time home buyer, new homeowner, is gonna be the Cordless Drill. This one is actually a drill driver that does both variable speed drilling as well as you can adjust it so it'll put different torque on driving screws in there. This one also has a light to help you see your work. It also has a magnetic place to hold your screws while you're getting in position to drive those screws in or take them out. So I'd highly recommend you have a cordless drill on hand. Keep in mind, the chargers are going to be sold separately and they can get expensive, but just know that going in. Now I mentioned earlier, hopefully hitting a stud. Well, this tool is going to help you hit that stud and find that stud. This is a stud finder, and they go all the way up to expensive ones like this Wallabot, and they range in price from really entry level to more advanced technology. This will help you find the stud, and this one will help you find electrical wiring and avoid plumbing. Again, the price range is going to run the gambit, so keep that in mind when you start shopping. But it's going to help you make sure that that mirror or that TV goes up and stays up by hitting that stud. Now, invariably, you're going to have some piece of furniture that you have to assemble, so I highly recommend that you have some sort of Allen wrench set for that kind of hardware. That's going to come in real handy because you never know when you're assembling that piece of furniture and it didn't include that Allen wrench. You're going to reach for that and it won't be there. But if you have one on hand, it will be there because you listened to this video. Next, I'd recommend you have some sort of pliers set on hand. And keep in mind there are different types of pliers. These are gas pliers, perfect for plumbing around the house. These are needle nose pliers, great for reaching in those tight spots. They also have a wire cutter feature on there. Speaking of wire cutting, these are electrical pliers. They also can grab a nut, but not as good as these guys. And then there's larger channel locks that open to a big mouth like that for grabbing a nice nut like underneath the sink on the waistline. Listen, I haven't included every possible tool that is perfect or excellent for the first-time home buyer. If I overlooked one, drop it in the comments below and you may see it in the next video. Speaking of the next video, click the image on your screen now to see that tool in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.